welcome back to Intuition on Tap. I'm Heidi, and today we're starting a brand new series called The Science of Soul, where we explore how modern neuroscience and ancient intuition are really two sides of the same coin. For so long, intuition has been seen as mysterious, almost mystical, something you either have or you don't. But neuroscience is starting to reveal what intuitives have always known. Intuition is not random. It's a skill. It's a system, and it's wired into your brain, your body, and your energy field. Today, I want to share how your intuition actually lives within your neural pathways. How every time you listen, trust, and act on that inner nudge, you're literally rewiring your brain for deeper intuitive accuracy. So, grab a cup of tea, take a deep breath, and let's explore how science is catching up to the soul. The science of intuition. Neuroscience tells us that the human brain processes about 11 million bits of information per second. Think about that. But our conscious mind only registers about 40 of those. That means intuition lives in that invisible gap, the space where the subconscious and the body pick up signals long before the conscious mind does. Every time you have a gut feeling, your brain's insula, part of your interoceptive network, is reading internal sensations and comparing them to past experiences. So fundamentally, it's like pattern recognition. Then your anterior cingulate cortex detects when something feels off or aligned, sending those subtle signals we experience as intuitive knowing. And here's the key part. When you act on intuition and it's confirmed as correct, you're reinforcing a neural loop, strengthening the pathway for future intuitive insight. There's neuroplasticity, and that's what it is, the ability of your brain to rewire yourself through this practice. So your intuition isn't some kind of mystical luck. It's actually embodied learning. In fact, researchers at the University of New South Wales here in Australia found that people trained to notice bodily cues, such as their breathing, tension, heart rate, became more accurate in intuitive decision making. So, the translation: when you slow down, feel into your body, and listen deeply, you literally become more intuitive because your nervous system becomes a more accurate receiver. The spiritual translation. Spiritually, we might say that your intuition is your soul communicating through your biology, and that each intuitive download isn't just a thought, it's a full body signal. Your cells, your hormones, your heart rhythms, and subtle field aligning to deliver a message from your higher consciousness, or what some people refer to as your higher self. So, what's fascinating is that neuroscience is now validating this. Your heart and gut have their own neural networks, sometimes called the second and third brains. The gut has over 100 million neurons, and the heart sends more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. So when you, quote, follow your heart or, quote, trust your gut, you're not being poetic. You're being actually biologically accurate. Every time you trust those subtle signals, you strengthen the communication between your heart, brain, and energy field. Intuition isn't separate from your nervous system. It is your nervous system, operating in partnership with your higher intelligence, training your intuitive brain. Now, how can we consciously build intuitive pathways using practical neuroscience? Well, just like learning a language or a musical instrument, intuition strengthens with practice and with feedback. So when you act on your intuition, even in small ways, and it's validated by reality, the brain releases dopamine, the neurotransmitter of reward and motivation. That dopamine reinforces the neural connection, making intuitive responses more automatic next time. But when you ignore intuition, especially if fear or self-doubt overrides it, the opposite can happen. What that means is the brain files it as uncertainty and that neural signal weakens. So, one of the simplest ways to strengthen intuition is through repetition and validation. Firstly, notice the intuitive hit. Secondly, act on it quickly. And thirdly, record the result. This process trains your prefrontal cortex to interpret intuitive data as reliable, and it reduces cognitive dissonance between logic and instinct. Over time, this creates harmony between your logical and intuitive minds, what I call whole brain intuition. So let's try a simple practice together. A mini neural intuitive activation, if you like. So gently close your eyes, only if it's safe to do so, and certainly not if you're driving or, in a place that you're not safe and secure. So take a slow breath in through your nose and exhale softly through your mouth. Now place one hand on your heart and one on your lower belly, connecting your brain, heart, and gut. And as you breathe, I invite you to imagine these three centers lighting up. Gentle, perhaps golden light moving in rhythm. You feel your breath connecting them like a current of information flowing up and down your spine. This is your body's intuitive network, your internal Wi-Fi system. And now ask yourself silently, what truth is my body already holding that my mind has not yet caught up with? Don't rush for an answer. Just sense it, feel into it. It's your intuition beginning to speak through your biology. And coming back into the here and now, into the present moment. And then when you open your eyes, I invite you to take note of what arose for you, even if it's just a word, an image, or a feeling. Maybe it's an impression or a sensation. That's your first neural imprint for intuitive trust today. So today we've explored intuition not as a magical accident, but as a living neural system, one that thrives on trust, repetition, and safety. So every time you choose to listen to that quiet inner whisper, you're carving a new path in your brain and opening a new channel in your soul. So next time your intuition speaks, remember it's not woo-woo, it's wisdom in motion, your biology and your spirit co-creating. So thank you for tuning into Intuition on Tap. I trust that you've enjoyed today's episode. And if it did resonate, please share it, leave a review, or send it to someone learning to trust their own inner voice. And remember, your intuition is not outside of you. It's deeply wired within you. You just have to learn its language. Stay intuitive, stay grounded, and stay you. For those who are interested in looking at the references that were used in today's podcast, they will be linked in the description below.